Hello, and welcome to the 5th Annual Religion and Ecology Summit, hosted by the Graduate Program in Ecology, Spirituality, and Religion at the California Institute of Integral Studies, also known as CIIS, in San Francisco, California, USA. We are delighted to have you join us for what promises to be a fascinating and stimulating week of presentations, talks, films, and discussion. The CIIS campus in San Francisco occupies traditional unceded Ramaytush Ohlone land. At the outset of this conference, we recall the legacies of colonization and genocide in California and across North America. We remember the violence and forced removal of Indigenous people from this land of the San Francisco Bay Area and throughout California and North America. We grieve the lives lost and the ongoing trauma endured by descendants. We also celebrate the resilience of Indigenous people of California and throughout North America and throughout the world. We are fortunate to have Greg Castro, a representative of the Ramaytush Ohlone people, address us in our first session this week. I'm Elizabeth Allison. I'm the founder and chair of the Graduate Program in Ecology, Spirituality, and Religion at CIIS. I'm speaking to you today from the East Bay of the San Francisco Bay Area, where the Lisjan Ohlone people belonged to the land and cared for it for millennia. We benefit from the richness and bounty of this beautiful land here in the Bay Area, nurtured over the millennia by the Indigenous people who cared for it and lived with it. Thank you for sharing part of your week with us. The goal of the Religion and Ecology Summit series of conferences is to strengthen the field of religion and ecology by establishing a supportive, intergenerational, and cross-cultural network of scholars, leaders, and activists. We cross-pollinate conversations that traverse disciplinary boundaries. Experts from scientific, spiritual, and faith-based sectors offer their cutting-edge insights for developing the knowledge and wisdom to respond to environmental devastation from life-affirming, healing, and transdisciplinary perspectives. This Religion and Ecology Summit takes up the timely and pertinent theme of Indigenous Lifeways, cosmologies, and ecology, elevating the voices of Native and Indigenous people whose ancestral territories are within the Greater Bay Area, California, and beyond. Speakers will address how humans can reweave our relationship with the land through food sovereignty, stewardship of ancestral lands, protection of sacred sites, and climate change mitigation. Through information sharing and networking, we hope that new collaborations and connections will be established between and among the environmental, faith, and Indigenous communities to provide mutual support in the work of developing flourishing pathways in the Anthropocene. Over the past year of the pandemic, the calls to listen closely to historically marginalized voices have become increasingly urgent. Equally, Earth itself calls for our attention through devastating fires, destructive storms, record-shattering heat waves, and the COVID-19 pandemic itself, accelerating the need to integrate human and ecological well-being. The pandemic was amplified by the same dominating ideologies and practices that contribute to imperialism, deregulated capitalism, and patriarchy. Structural change must address the overconsumption and economic inequality that contribute to the devastation of traditional peoples, habitat destruction, and climate change. During the pandemic pause, this great lull in business as usual, we must turn towards visions of wholeness, harmony, and integrity with the land. We must develop greater understanding of the values and practices required for humanity to live in harmony with the rest of life on Earth. Already over the past 50 years, wildlife populations have plummeted by 2/3, threatening the well-being of humanity as a whole. Over millennia, Indigenous communities have developed strategies for observing and learning from their surroundings, a practice now known as traditional ecological knowledge. They've developed ways of using this knowledge to maintain ongoing interactions between human and non-human nature. Contemporary studies reveal that lands managed by Native and Indigenous peoples often have the greatest biological diversity. Yet too often, marginalization, oppression, and ignorance have blocked widespread awareness of traditional ecological knowledge. During this Religion and Ecology Summit, Native and Indigenous leaders, as well as scholars and activists from a range of fields, will share insights regarding biocultural restoration and stewardship that can promote a greater flourishing on Earth. Beyond the topic of the conference, the 2021 Religion and Ecology Summit is special in 3 distinct ways. First, it's our first foray into the online space for this event, which previously took place at CIIS in San Francisco. The online platform has allowed us to involve more speakers, presenters, and participants than ever before. Though we wish we could be present with you in person, one of the gifts of the pandemic is the opportunity to experiment with this technology that allows us to transcend time and space. Wherever in the world you're joining us from, we welcome you. We're glad you're here. Related to the first point, this year marks the first ever International Religion and Ecology Summit. Along with representatives of Indigenous and tribal groups of North America, we are also joined by scholars from O.P. Jindal Global University in Haryana, India. We are delighted to welcome international participants to the Religion and Ecology Summit. The third way this Religion and Ecology Summit is unique is that it is taking place across an entire week from March 15th through March 19th, rather than being confined to one day, as was the case with our previous 4 Religion and Ecology Summits. The online format allows us to offer a greater number of panel presentations, as well as film screenings and discussion sessions and community forums. We hope that you will join us for as many of those as your schedule allows. As we have been reminded over the past year, the wounds of genocide, enslavement, and oppression are not relics of the past in the United States. They are ongoing injuries, reverberating through modern life. I request that you be gentle with the speakers and yourself as we learn about these injustices and injuries together. In learning new things, missteps are inevitable. There will be stumbles and perhaps poorly articulated ideas. Let's be allies and accomplices together, gently alerting each other to missteps and correcting what needs to be corrected. We will all try and do our best to learn together. This conference would not be possible without the dedicated work of a tremendous team. I'm grateful to all of those who have brought this online event together, particularly our wonderful funders, the Calliopeia Foundation and the Fetzer Institute, as well as an anonymous donor. We are so grateful for your steadfast support that has made this Religion and Ecology Summit possible. A fantastic dedicated team has worked over the past 2 years to bring this event to life. We are so grateful to the Provost's Office and the CIIS development team, particularly Charles Wimmuth and Sarah Hetty, for helping identify and secure funding for the event. CIIS public programs, the Alumni Office, and the Marketing and Communication Department have been essential partners in spreading the word about this event. The Online Learning Department has provided important technology support. As we were starting to plan the event, we were in consultation with a number of important advisors. Daisy Francoeur, Canyon Sayers-Rudes, Jonathan Cordero, Alexi Sigona, and Rachel Bryant were all important advisors and interlocutors helping develop the summit. We are grateful to all the amazing speakers for being willing to share their time and expertise this week. An all-star student assistant team is working to keep everything running smoothly, including Taina Fenelas, Kia Jones, Michael Lynn, and Erica Erzberger. We are delighted to partner with the Deep Water Initiative, founded by 2 ecology, spirituality, and religion graduate students, which is sponsoring and hosting the Tuesday screening of Gather. And Shmi Giratana has been the glue holding everything together, managing every detail of the program and logistics. This wouldn't have come together without Shmi. We are so grateful. We are so grateful to all the people who have committed their time and talent to bring about this very special Religion and Ecology Summit. Now let me say a few words about the context of this summit. Earth is in the midst of a great transformation that is transforming every aspect of life. Humanity has become a dominating force on the planet, reshaping ecosystems from the poles to the equators. Wild species are disappearing faster than they can be documented and studied. Plastic fills the oceans and chokes sea life. This human domination, which leaves traces in the atmosphere, the oceans, the geological strata, and degraded ecosystems, has led some observers to suggest that the planet has entered a new geological age, the Anthropocene, or human-dominated age. However, this terminology suggests a narrowing of options, leading to a dead end. What if, instead, we can envision a new life-enhancing age, in which all living beings could flourish in reciprocity on planet Earth? What if humanity could direct our ingenuity and resourcefulness into sources of renewal and resilience? The late geologian, or theologian of the earth, Thomas Berry, suggested that we orient ourselves toward bringing about an ecozoic era, which would be characterized by mutually enhancing human-earth relations. Rather than view humans as dominating lords and masters of Earth or as a destructive plague on Earth, we could enter a new age characterized by mutuality and recognition of the interdependence of life. The graduate program in Ecology, Spirituality, and Religion at CIIS was founded to help bring about this vision. Like Thomas Berry, we understand that the world's religious traditions are essential to understanding humanity's place on Earth. The religious traditions are also essential to understanding the deep motivations and spiritual connections and convictions that guide us. Many leading thinkers have come to understand that the ecological crises, including climate change, biodiversity loss, and mass extinction of species, as well as the COVID-19 pandemic and racial injustice, represent a crisis of human consciousness. These crises require a fundamental revisioning of cultural values. If you resonate with this mission, please consider applying to our master's and doctoral programs, which in fall 2021 will be offered online, facilitating study from anywhere in the world. The COVID-19 pandemic has been an apocalypse in the original sense of the word. It's been an unveiling, revealing what has been hidden from ordinary sight. As we consider what life will look like after the pandemic, we must turn towards values and practices that nourish all people, as well as all of the rest of life on Earth. We need to cultivate social and ecological resilience to adapt to changing conditions. Over the course of this week, we seek to learn from and about those who have been adapting to changing conditions on Earth for millennia, the Native and Indigenous peoples of the world living in close relationship with Earth. We welcome you to this conference on Indigenous Lifeways, Cosmologies, and Ecology. We hope you will enjoy the Religion and Ecology Summit. Thank you.